The main part of this page tells about basically what happened before the Big Daddy that you play as, before the game actually starts. How Andrew Ryan built Rapture to allow the scientists and the artists and the businessmen to be able to do what they always dreamed of doing without the threats of the government, as he called them, parasites, from taking over. And it was all going well until someone thought of the atom. And the atom was becoming very popular, and people started getting addicted to it. And that's when the Civil War started. Not the Civil War, but the war in Rapture. And people were fighting over atom and fighting over certain things that didn't really matter, but because their mind was so pumped full of atom and they couldn't think straight, and they're basically stupid now. That's when Jack came in, and he played through the game and found out that he was actually born in Rapture, and then needed to do what he could to stop Fontaine. Now, as you're a Big Daddy and you are in the future, past all of this stuff, all that, you'll be hearing people talking about Jack and what he did and things that happened before Jack got to Rapture, from splicers that don't see you and people that aren't splicers, non-spliced up humans. And the other parts talk about, like the one that's pointing towards you, the Big Daddy. It tells about how your armor is a lot more powerful. It's a lot thicker and a lot harder than normal Big Daddy, and you're the most powerful of all Big Daddies. Your armor's more powerful. You're more powerful. You're stronger. You're faster. You can use plasmids. Basically, when you were built, after they built you, they decided when they started making other Big Daddies, they decided that they didn't really need some of the things that you had, like the plasmids or being as strong or as fast, or so yeah. And also how that the other ones basically tell about the upgrades for like the rivet gun and some of the things that you can do with the drill. Like I've already told you about the upgrades, how the rivet gun will be able to explode and turn to fire and burn someone. The drill, basically, the drill is basically the new wrench, and most of the upgrades will allow it. When you're using the drill, it has like a time limit for how long you can keep it drilling. So basically, most of the upgrades will make that time be longer, so you can drill someone for a longer amount of time. This next page is basically saying how even though that Andrew Ryan and Jack Ryan are both long and gone, there's still an echo of both of them still in Rapture, and not only them, but also Fontaine. And basically, you're going to be hearing, like I said before, people talking about both of them. Like, there's going to be groups that really just hate Andrew Ryan. They just hate him. They hate the fact that he allowed all this craziness to start up, and they are glad that Jack killed him, and they revere him. And basically, they want to make sure that what he does stays the same. So there's gonna be like cult, like groups and little clans of splicers that are going to be like that. And also, because you are the first Big Daddy, but the game takes place 10 years after the first game, there are going to be flashbacks. But unlike the first game, the flashbacks aren't going to be photos. Flashbacks are going to be actual visions, and you're going to be able to play through these visions, make these visions what you want them to be. So when he flashes back, whatever you do in the flashback is what he did. You control him in the flashback. And also it goes on to tell about a little bit about the multiplayer. It's just at the end of it. It's going to be a new type of multiplayer, all totally redone. It's basically never going to be done before. Never has been done before. And that's going to be going on into the page after the next, I believe. This next page doesn't really tell that much. It basically just talks about the atom, what it is. Well, I can do that without really having to read that anyways, but I mean, I read it anyways. It says how atom was a genetic stem cell like thing, liquid or something, and that taking it, it's like a drug kind of. Taking it will change you. The more you take it, the more of a monster you become. And as you can see, all the splicers were always looked weird. They used to be normal people, but because of Adam, their bodies became weakened and disgusting. I mean, it's like stem cell. It basically takes old not DNA, but cells, dead cells, and recreates more of them and makes you more powerful. But the more you take of it, the worse your body can't take it. And as you can see, things that happen to these poor splicers, what they look like, how much they change, how much their face changes, their body changes. I mean, they become monstrous. So basically, taking this may make you stronger, but at a cost. You will always be a monster in most other people's eyes. And finally, the next couple of pages will be talking about the multiplayer. The multiplayer takes place before the events of Bioshock 1. Basically, it's a prequel. So in other words, Bioshock 2 is a prequel and a sequel. A C-prequel. A C-3PO even. It's being developed by the same people who made Unreal Tournament games. So basically, at this time, it's basically the war going on between Andrew Ryan and Atlas, also known as Frank Fontaine. So basically, this is a giant war zone that you are pushed into in multiplayer. It's most likely going to be like World of Warcraft, except first person. You'll be fighting other players online and splicers and Big Daddies, and it's going to have the same weapons and same plasmids that were in the first one, and then some. There's going to be other ones that were made just for the multiplayer, and some that came from the second one, from the campaign. So there's going to be some new plasmids, obviously, and the weapons they'll all have upgrades, and the plasmids will all have upgrades. And from what I'm seeing, as you use more Atom, you're going to become basically a splicer. The more you use Atom, the more spliced up you get, the more you turn into this freak. So you start out as a normal guy, and then the more Atom you use, you turn into this monstrous creature. As you will see on the next page, it shows that.